All right, let's move to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Former Notre Dame and NFL quarterback Brady Quinn joins us from Fort Lauderdale. Brady looking good as always. All right, let's start with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Rumors starting to float about what the Cowboys will do with the 17th pick overall. Rumors focusing in on Utah State quarterback Jordan Love, and would the Cowboys be interested in taking Love, who's seen as a guy that might not be ready to play as a rookie, but has a lot of upside. Should the Cowboys target a quarterback with the 17th pick, Marcellus?
Oh, man, y'all really don't like Dak. For anybody who's thinking that the Cowboys, with the 17th pick in the first round, should go try and draft a franchise quarterback when they already have a franchise quarterback, and also have them in a favorable situation in terms of contract. If you want to look at it for the long term, Dallas wants to give him a 5-year deal. He wants a 4-year deal. Whatever that is, it's going to be $160 to $200 million. That's just the way the game goes for a franchise quarterback going forward. That said, if they don't want to go long term, they just want to keep it short term, they can franchise him as they did this year and next year. That will be 2 years, $70 million. Once again, favorable terms for a franchise quarterback. Why would Dallas want to roll the dice on Jordan Love to see if he could become what Dak already is? This is baseless. No way are they drafting a quarterback at the 17th pick.
This is all about leverage. This is the Dallas Cowboys trying to do one of two things. Either push Dak to come to the table and negotiate or lower what he's asking for, or they're trying to convince teams that they might potentially be in the market for a quarterback at that spot. And if Jordan Love drops down to them, they could potentially take him. And so maybe they're looking for some trade partners to potentially trade up and take Jordan Love so they could trade back and accumulate some more picks. So I think this really accomplishes twofold. One, putting pressure on Dak with the possibility of them taking a quarterback in this year's draft, but also letting people out there know that they potentially could be in the market to trade back. I don't read into this as anything legitimate. I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to take best player available at that spot if they can't move back. Dak's their quarterback. They'll come to an agreement at some point. This league is all about what have you done for me lately? And unfortunately, Jordan Love's film this past year, even though he does have some legitimate excuses, it's not enough to convince them that he's a must-take quarterback and player at that spot for the Dallas Cowboys. They've already got their quarterback.
Disagree with both of you all. Dak had a career year, his greatest year, and the Cowboys didn't make the playoffs. And now he wants to be the highest paid quarterback in football or the highest paid player in football. They can't reach an agreement. I wouldn't blame him for taking a quarterback at 17. Jordan Love, somebody. They don't have a backup quarterback. And you just don't know what Dak's future is. Maybe Dak at his best leads to 8-8. So I wouldn't have a problem with it. All right, let's move on to the San Francisco 49ers and their general manager, John Lynch, who publicly acknowledged, pretty transparent, that he and head coach Kyle Shanahan talked about the possibility of acquiring Tom Brady this offseason and moving on from Jimmy Garoppolo. Lynch and Shanahan eventually, after 24 hours of thought, agreed they like Jimmy Garoppolo, stay the course. We're not going to make the move for Tom Brady. All right, Brady Quinn, smart for the 49ers to stick with Jimmy Garoppolo over Tom Brady.
Yes, and by the way, this is what good general managers and coaches do. They go ahead and they exhaust all efforts at looking how to improve their team and make their roster better. So they talk about these sort of we can call them hypothetical situations, even though there could have been a legitimate chance they could have gotten Tom Brady, but they found out that it wasn't a good fit for them. And it's honestly probably not when you look at Kyle Shanahan's system, what he likes to do with a lot of the move the pocket and boots and things of that nature, that Tom Brady's not going to be doing at 42, 43 years old. Now, that's not to say that Kyle Shanahan wouldn't be able to work a system around Tom Brady that would allow him to be effective or good on that team. But I think they're better off right now with Jimmy Garoppolo, because the problem for the 49ers is, let's just say hypothetically they were going to make that move. You would still have to be in the quarterback market, if not this year, potentially next year, to solve that problem again. And meanwhile, you've got Jimmy Garoppolo under contract for 3 more years at a really economical value when you look at what Dak Prescott's asking for, which we just talked about. and then Russell Wilson. And every other quarterback that comes up, it's going to keep setting that ball higher and higher and higher. So I think for Jimmy Garoppolo, in his first year starting 16 complete games, to help his team go to a Super Bowl, I think it's only upside from here for me with Jimmy Garoppolo. I think they're better off staying with Jimmy G.
Yeah, definitely smarter staying with Jimmy G. They're on a different calendar, different schedule than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in terms of why did they roll the dice for Tom Brady at this age is because they didn't even make the playoffs versus a team that was in the fourth quarter leading a Super Bowl. So why would you want to hit the reset button in any respect by trying to acquire Tom Brady? As Brady just said, you will be back in the quarterback market in a year or two trying to find who's next. Well, you have who's next right now on your roster, and it's Jimmy G, who has the highest winning percentage of all quarterbacks ever after 25 games, more than even a young Tom Brady. So they're smart to stay pat.
Yeah, for all the reasons you guys said, I think it's definitely smart. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think he's a little loose with the football, but the guy's still just 27, 28, 29 years old. He's still in the prime of his career. Financially, it works out better for you. He's on a good contract, good deal. I agree with you guys. All right, let's move on to Marcellus's favorite quarterback in the upcoming draft, Tua Tagovailoa. Tua is a mystery to a lot of people. Is he an injury-prone guy? Is he too short? Is a left-hander being, is that a problem being a left-handed quarterback? So, Brady, start us off. Tell us who Tua is and why. Tua Tagovailoa is the blank and why.
I think he's going to be one of the next superstars if he can stay healthy. I mean, that's the caveat here, right? Because of the hip injury. But if he can stay healthy, I do think he's going to be one of the next superstars as a quarterback at the NFL level. When you really break down his game and you look at some of the skills and you try to compare him to some of the quarterbacks that are already playing within the league, I mean, the guy that I see the most of when I see him move around and buy time or create is Russell Wilson. I mean, dating back to Russell Wilson's time at NC State and really Wisconsin, you saw some of that. Now, their throwing motions are entirely different. Russell Wilson is much longer motion, whereas Tua is much more compact. But this kid's got the complete package, and I think teams are more apt to look at a quarterback of his stature, not being the tallest or the heaviest or biggest, and they're okay with that because of some of the intangibles that he brings. So I do think if he's able to stay healthy, he's going to be one of the next superstars at the next level. But, that's a big question mark right now because we don't know the situation and circumstance that he's entering into. And that might be the biggest question mark for him is not just the hip, but if he goes and plays behind a bad offensive line, even as mobile as he can be, like we've seen on film, that could be a big-time injury, issue for a guy that could get banged up and may never reach his capability at the NFL level.
Yeah, I just think he's the next great quarterback. Superstar is even better way of describing him. If you look at what the future of the quarterback position looks like in terms of success and accolade, we obviously have Patrick Mahomes. You have Deshaun Watson right there, Lamar Jackson. And if you want to say a future Mount Rushmore based on these youngsters who are going to be great, I think you have to put Tua's name in there as well. He'll be the fourth one of that group because he throws the football better than anyone I've seen coming out of college in terms of accuracy, in terms of how he displays his mental acumen, reading the defenses, being able to do it all. There's not one conversation anyone is having about Tua translating his game to the pro level. Only conversation is, will he be durable enough? And no one knows that answer for him or any other prospect. So if he can stay healthy, trust me, he'll be on that Mount Rushmore of future quarterbacks, just like the other three.
Tua Tagovailoa is the most confused quarterback in this draft. And I say that not trying to take a giant pot shot at the guy, but Joel Klatt said something on this show last week that I found interesting and rang true for me. Tua Tagovailoa thinks he's Steve Young, thinks he's Russell Wilson. And facts are he's not. He's not that mobile of a quarterback, and he needs to tailor his game or limit his game a little bit more. He keeps getting hurt when trying to leave the pocket. He's not a running quarterback like a Steve Young. He's not even on Russell Wilson's level. And if he doesn't start changing the way he views himself and start understanding what his limitations are, these injuries that have piled up on him at Alabama are going to pile up even quicker if he decides to get out of the pocket in the NFL and some of these guys on these defenses in the NFL get a hold of him. His career will be short unless that confusion goes away. Brady, thank you so much for joining us today. Look forward to having you back.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.